Hello everyone, my name is Sethi and I'm a third year medical student, currently wrapping up the Neurosurgery 200 clerkship. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about artificial intelligence and its application in neurosurgery. How will artificial intelligence change neurosurgery? As we finish 2025, this topic is certainly at the front of medical education across the world, so let's dive into it. Neurosurgery is widely regarded as one of the most technically and cognitively demanding medical specialties. It requires mastery of complex anatomy, high stakes decision making, and precise technical execution, often in time critical situations where the margin for error is extremely small. Because of this, education in neurosurgery is uniquely challenging. Training spans many years, from medical school to residency and often fellowship, yet early operative exposure can be limited, and learning opportunities can vary widely depending on case volume, mentorship, and institutional resources. As a result, ensuring consistent, high quality neurosurgical education remains a major challenge. This creates an opportunity to explore whether new technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, can help support and enhance how neurosurgeons are trained. Over the past several years, there's been a rapid growth in artificial intelligence, particularly in machine learning and large language models. These systems are capable of processing and synthesizing vast amounts of information and are increasingly becoming integrated into medical education. In education, AI has been applied to many different systems. A figure from a recent review on the focus of AI development in research articles highlights some of the areas of focus for research. The most researched areas include assessment, knowledge and attitudes about AI, teaching and instruction using AI, and performance on medical exams. However, this is just the beginning. AI tools are designed to form adaptive learning platforms, personalized feedback systems, automated assessment, and simulation based training. Importantly, these tools aim to address long standing issues in medical training, such as variability in educational exposure and the difficulty of providing individualized feedback at scale. Neurosurgical education is not a single skill set, but a combination of multiple domains that must be developed simultaneously. For this presentation, I'll focus on two core domains where AI has emerging evidence supporting its role in training. The first is medical knowledge and board preparation. The second is surgical skill training and technical proficiency. These domains represent cognitive, technical, and integrative aspects of neurosurgical training, and together they capture many of the fundamental competencies required to become a neurosurgeon. The first domain is medical knowledge. In neurosurgery and medicine as a whole, this is most often used as a proxy from performance on board exams. This study by Ali et al., published in Neurosurgery in 2023, evaluated the performance of ChatGPT 3.5 and GPT-4 on neurosurgery written board style questions, specifically the self assessment neurosurgery examinations from the American Board of Neurological Surgery Self Assessment Examination 1. Overall, they found that GPT-4 had significantly higher performance than humans. This theme was seen across almost every single domain of question category. I want to highlight a few here. In functional, pediatrics, peripheral nerves, and tumor, GPT-4 exceeded human performance significantly, often by more than 10%. However, it did not perform as well on other categories. Notable times when it performed similar to humans included fundamentals, neuropathology, pain, and vascular. There was only one domain where GPT-4 performed worse than humans, that being neuroradiology. This is particularly interesting, as radiology is considered one of the first fields that will experience significant change due to AI advancements. Overall, this work showed great promise for the use of AI in supplementing content knowledge, but not replacing standard instruction. It appears that GPT-4 performed best on the two topics where humans performed the worst: functional neurosurgery and peripheral nerve surgery, both of which are extremely challenging to understand and require years of training and research. While many board questions involve first-order recall, neurosurgery often requires understanding of complex three-dimensional anatomical relationships. The authors noted that GPT-4 showed improved performance on neuroanatomy and spatial relationship questions, suggesting a potential role as a supplementary educational tool. The incorporation of AI into neurosurgical education may also benefit examiners and examinees alike through applications such as generating a first draft of de novo questions, performing an initial quality check of novel questions using LLMs, and inputting practice questions into LLMs when studying to better understand correct answer rationales. The second domain is surgical skills training and technical proficiency, which is central to neurosurgical education. Traditional surgical training relies heavily on apprenticeship models and subjective assessment. AI-based systems, particularly intelligent tutoring systems, offer a way to provide more objective and personalized feedback by analyzing large amounts of performance data during simulation training. Davidovich et al. In a 2025 study published in the Journal of Surgical Education evaluated AI-augmented human instruction during surgical simulation. The study used 88 medical students enrolled in their preclinical years at one of 4 Canadian institutes with no experience with NeuroVR, the VR simulator used in the study. Following voluntary enrollment, students were stratified according to year in medical school and block randomized into one of 3 arms with a 1:1:1 allocation ratio. The simulation tasks involve the use of an ultrasonic aspirator and bipolar forceps, each equipped with haptic feedback, to completely resect a simulated tumor while minimizing bleeding and damage to non-pathological tissue. All participants completed 6 5-minute practice scenarios to assess their learning, followed by a 13-minute realistic scenario to assess skill transfer to a more complex procedure. Participants performed their first practice resection scenario without feedback to establish their baseline performance. The second through 5th repetitions of the practice scenario served as a formative assessment, during which participants received feedback only when an error was identified by the virtual system. Group 1, called the AI Tutor Instruction Group, received real-time verbal feedback from the AI itself upon error detection. Group 2, called the Scripted Human Instruction Group, received instructions from one of 2 neurosurgical residents upon error detection by the AI, using the exact same scripted instruction as the AI, this time spoken by humans. Group 3, called the AI Augmented Personalized Instructions, received instructions from a neurosurgical resident upon error detection by the AI, using real-time, personalized verbal feedback from the resident themselves in their own words, based on the trainee's manipulations. During the 2nd to 5th repetitions, the AI recorded the number of instructions given for each of these metrics: healthy tissue injury risk, bleeding risk, high instrument tip separation distance, high bipolar force application, low bipolar force application, and high aspirator force application. Here are the instruction scripts, as you can see, used by the AI. They are not very personalized and tend to be on the brief side. Here we can see in the top graph that as the experiments progressed, the group with the AI augmented personalized human instruction had less instructions given to them across experiments than the other 2 groups. This trend was generally seen across all the domains assessed by the AI, including tissue injury risk, bleeding risk, instrument tip separation distance, and high aspirator force. Since feedback was only provided when the system detected an error, a reduced feedback frequency can be associated with trainees making fewer performance errors. Thus, fewer feedback instructions suggest that AI-augmented personalized human instructions may be more comprehensible and provide more clarity to trainees to understand how to correct their errors in performance. In the simulated, realistic tumor resection, except for the instructions pertaining to bipolar force, all the instructions given directed participants to decrease the skill performance metric values. Thus, achieving lower values in these metrics suggests a better understanding of feedback instructions. The AI-augmented personalized feedback group showed the lowest rate of healthy tissue removal, least instrument tip separation distance, and least force applied with the ultrasonic aspirator. Interestingly, they did not show the best performance in blood loss, but still better than plain AI tutor instructions. The absence of significant differences in bipolar force may be attributable to participants receiving two instructions for this metric, one to increase and another to decrease the force applied with the bipolar force steps throughout the session. This may have allowed participants in all groups to learn the ideal amount of force application with this instrument. Overall, AI-augmented, personalized human instruction results in best performance. Interestingly, the study also showed that less frequent but more targeted feedback guided by AI analysis was associated with better outcomes. This challenges the assumption that more feedback is always better and suggests that AI may help optimize not just the content but also the timing of instruction. In a field like neurosurgery, where faculty time is limited, this type of targeted feedback could be particularly valuable in enhancing training efficiency without increasing faculty burden. Providing skilled instructors with AI-generated error data to facilitate the provision of personalized, continuous, contextualized feedback improves learning in a simulated surgical environment. In conclusion, artificial intelligence offers significant opportunities to support neurosurgical education across multiple domains. Current evidence suggests that AI can assist with medical knowledge acquisition, support surgical skills training throughout simulation and personalized feedback. However, it is important to emphasize that AI should be viewed as an adjunct rather than a replacement for human educators. Human oversight, mentorship, and real operative experience remain essential. As AI continues to evolve, careful validation, ethical consideration, and thoughtful integration into training programs will be necessary to ensure it enhances and continues to expand neurosurgical education. Here are my references for this presentation. I would also like to say a special thank you to everyone who made this rotation so exceptional. Dr. Jackson and Dr. Srinivasan, whom I spent the most time with. Johannes, one of the chief residents who I got to know over the 2 weeks and who took me under his wing during my time on the rotation. And last but not least, Dr. Brem, for organizing this outstanding rotation, investing significant time and energy to ensure I was engaged and had great cases to see every day with the best teachers, and for his teaching itself, which greatly deepened my understanding and passion for neurosurgery. Thank you all.